Welcome to TAS-Blasting, our series where we explore the weird and cheap world of Star Trek, the animated series. The chronically underwatched, forgettable part of Star Trek fandom.
On today's episode, we're diving right into Season 1, Episode 2, Yesteryear.
This is a DC Fontana episode, so I gotta admit, I got high hopes for this one.
Oh gee, Fontana wrote for TOS, TAS, TNG, and DS9.
Whoa. Take your pills. It sounds like you're having a stroke over there. So they're down on this time vortex planet, having a good look through an ancient Teletubby's belly.
The Guardian. And the subtitles actually call it The Guardian, and everyone knew it introduced himself as The Guardian, but nobody actually calls it The Guardian in this. Kind of rude. But this is our old friend. We know him from TOS. He's so cool. The Guardian on the edge of forever. Or tomorrow. Or both. It's time travel, whatever.
Maybe it's the Guardian's cousin or something. I don't know how those families work. So they're standing there with Big Bird, and Kirk and some red shirt pop out of the belly and start talking like beatniks.
What a trip, Bones. Orion at the dawn of its civilization.
They apparently went back to the birth of Orion Pictures.
But before they can get down to loading up the bong, Spock materializes from behind them. Bones starts to freak out, man, and asks who the fuck that is.
Yeah, I would definitely not put it past Bones to gaslight Spock full on, since he's kind of racist. But he seems genuinely freaked out by this rando showing up. It looks like we got a classic time fuck situation a-forming, sir.
Kirk beams everyone up, and Scotty starts having a guess who's coming to dinner moment behind the controls.
I was expecting it to be one of the historians with you, but a Vulcan?
He's worried about this strange Vulcan man popping up out of nowhere.
In walks Thalen, the ship's dun-dun-dun first officer. I guess they have to be, as the flagship, he has to be an alien? I don't know. Spock spends a little time deducing, they are not indeed fucking with him, and starts to put the pieces together like a true brainiac, son of Sherlock Holmes he is.
Kirk calls a big meeting, and he's having a little chat with the landing party. And I think this red shirt is getting the hard end of it. He seems very defensive.
Nothing. I can't find one thing we did when we were in the vortex that could possibly have affected the future.
Spock susses out that basically everything is the same, except he doesn't exist. And Kirk takes a FaceTime from some yellow shirt.
Dude gives him the rundown on this so-called Spock character who doesn't exist.
There is no Vulcan named Spock serving with the Starfleet in any capacity.
This guy digs up some family history on Sarek, and bada bing, bada boom, we found out little Spocky ain't in this timeline. He didn't make it through his Cos-1. So Sarek and Amanda are Splitsville, as so many couples are when they lose a child. How depressing. And let me just say that the Andorian dude looks shady as hell. Look at these shifty eyes. Did he kill a child? Did he kill that child? Is he the villain? Is he a Q? I had many questions.
So they go back down to the Teletubby, and it turns out this bitch red shirt was using the gate to peep on Vulcans in the shower while the team was in there.
I would too.
Was the Guardian in use while we were gone?
Yes, but it was nothing unusual.
As any of us would. As any red-blooded or green-blooded or whatever the hell kind of blood I have, woman would too. And Big Bird tells them that little Spocky died during his Cos-1, a Vulcan rite of maturity where children try to survive the horrible monster pit of a desert so they can justify acting superior to other races all the time.
And Spock remembers to everyone there how he fucked up, but his cousin Selleck saved him.
They instantly figure out that Spock was Selleck in the real timeline.
You were in Orion's past with us when the historians had the time vortex replay of Vulcan history.
And this time, Spock was fucking off on Orion and wasn't there to do it, so they had to quick send him off.
Kirk asked the Guardian if they can fix this thing with another trip in his little belly there.
Kirk lays it all out for Spock, and they start shaking on a plan. Spock immediately starts playing dress up.
I will need a Vulcan desert soft suit and boots, and a small selection of streetwear, circa 8877 Vulcan years.
And then the Andorian first officer remembers, at the same time as the audience, that this plan now kinda deletes him from the game. Will he die? Will he cease to exist? They don't know, we don't know. Nobody cares, I guess. And I really didn't expect this, because I full on thought he was the villain. Ha!
He seems cool with this, though. A little too cool with it. A little, Death Wish kinda cool with it.
So Spock starts dialing up his trip and leisurely runs full Naruto into the time tummy.
And we get our first animated vista of, beautiful Vulcan. It looks like the overworld map for Doom. It looks like an absolute shithole, in fact.
Spock's on a solo mish and gets to work stomping around, sussing out some clues, and the very first thing he finds is his baby self getting full-on bullied by identical bondage-wear babies.
You could never be a true Vulcan. That is not true. Your father brought shame to Vulcan. He married a human.
Little shit's bad-mouthing his mama, and little Spocky goes right for that little brat's neck. Cold little bastard.
And the little Tubster Vulcan calls him out in his weak pinch game.
You haven't even mastered a simple Vulcan neck pinch yet, Earther.
Sad, embarrassing. But then here comes Papa Sarek to the rescue. He sees what's happening and immediately apologizes to a complete stranger for his son being a sad little cringe baby.
I regret you are witness to that unfortunate display of emotion on the part of my son.
Father of the Year.
Spock plays along because he has self-hating genes because of his father, and sets the whole Selleck ruse up.
My name is Selleck.
Though even through the wooden and expressionless medium of cheap animation, you can tell Spock wants to give his dad a smack.
Sarek is a little sus of this Selleck. He gives him the eyebrow raise. A classic. But they head inside. He's in!
But not before Sarek takes the opportunity to let little Spock know he saw him get punked out in the street.
Amanda is talking to Spock in the living room, and he drops some wisdom on her. But even she's still a little ashamed of the little moggly-looking dude.
He grabs some clues to make sure his plans are still good, but finds out he's there a month early.
And so he settles in for a little vacation on Vulcan.
With his strained relationship with his parents on double. How fun. So Sarek finishes up his little talk with Spock. He lets him know that Spock will always be his son, no matter what, and he could never be disappointed in him as long as Spock tries his best. Just kidding. He tells him he better be the best out of everyone or Spock's dead to him.
We get a nice shot of little Spocky snuggling with Ichaya, his space pet.
And Spock gives him the old Harry and the Henderson routine.
I hate you! Get out of here! Get out!
Leave us alone!
No, Ichaya. This is my own test.
Before sneaking off into the night to prove his courage.
Ichaya follows anyway, and adult Spock remembers that this was a big deal now. He was gonna choose which part of his bloodline to follow here.
Just then, Sarek realizes his child is missing, and so is the weird guy he found skulking around his house watching a bunch of children in Speedos.
I don't think he'd harm Spock.
He wants pictures of Spocky Man.
Amanda's stranger danger alarm is ringing off the wall.
And Sarek, finally being a decent father, calls the frickin' cops.
Spock is creeping around in some rocks nearby, keeping tabs on little Spocky.
And he's in some big doo-doo, folks. He's face to face with a big green La Mancha, like a scary, venomous tiger lizard.
Ichaya comes barreling in and gives that monster what for with a headbutt and other off-screen violence. Exciting stuff.
Ichaya and the beast rumble for a bit, but then Ichaya gets knocked over. Oh no!
Spock comes in off the top rope and gives this little jackass the double pinch, knocking him out cold.
Kind of a bummer. I super wanted to see Spock punch an alien mountain lion in the face. But they take a little moment for celebration and head back to the house.
The Spock boys have a little chat and hash out all the gross feelings they've been having here. It's a nice moment where they talk about how much they want to live up to their shitty dad's crazy standards and how much they resent their mom being nice.
Ichaya gets sick of this heartwarming bullshit and lays down to die. They haven't noticed that he's actually pretty hurt.
Older Spock sees this as a little teaching moment and gets little Spock all set up to go on a little journey of his own to find a healer for his bear, his dog, his pet.
It's a salat, like a saber-toothed dog bear thing. They're pretty badass and a killer, just like pretty much everything on Vulcan.
So little Spocky starts out across this godforsaken planetscape looking for a healer.
He runs into some plant doodads, but makes it there all right, and knocks on the door of this healer who gives him the eyeball and assumes Spock is fucking with him, because racism.
But he convinces him, and they take his Bobby dream car over to where Spock and Ichaya are hanging. Gotta say, this healer style is impeccable.
You gotta regret not being able to wear clothes, huh?
Every single day.
I'll pray for you.
Ice my balls.
The healer gets to work on Ichaya's wound, and Spock gets to work on Spock's heart.
They learn a lot about life and blah blah blah, wasted time, blah 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 blah.
Roy, that's the moving part. What the heck?
I can prolong his life, but he will be in pain. Or I can release him from life. I will need your decision. He is your pet.
Look, I can't deal with this stupid Sailite stuff. Fast forward or I'm gonna break down in icing.
I am incredibly conflicted about whether or not I would want to see chocolate tears. Something moist.
Anyway, they get back and little Spocky gives his dad the business.
He was gonna break out the belt on his little brat, but Spocky tells him that the whole thing was about choosing to be Vulcan, and his pops lets it all slide. Kid played him like a fiddle.
And then little Spocky says that he's got some business to attend to, and he goes off to pinch those bullies from earlier. Presumably while they were sleeping. Cold-ass little bastard.
Spock says his farewells to Sarek and tells him to not be such a shitty dad, and makes his way on back to the future. Spock jumps out of the Guardian's time hole, and Kirk has sent everyone else to the ship to save on animation budget. How kind of him.
Spock gives them the old mission accomplished, and they beam up.
Where they are immediately razzed by Old Man McCoy, who tells them that it's time for the annual shipwide prostate exam, and they're the only two left, damn it.
Spock says some shit to confuse McCoy, and ends the episode out with a little wink and nod to camera.
If the times were different, you would have to recalibrate for an Andorian.
All wrapped up in a bow.
A time bow.
So there, what'd you think about this one?
Well, you may or may not know this, but I hate time travel. It sucks. Stupid. Stupid thing. Hate it. In all formats, Star Trek, Star Wars, whatever. Time travel is just a weak man's plot device. Plus, the say that stuff made me cry, so 2 out of 5.
Yeah, fuck this episode. Anything that makes me cry is a 0 out of 10. Nah, I can't give it a 0 out of 10. Look, this one stands head and shoulders above the last episode.
Oh, yeah.
This was actually a really good watch, and despite the time fuck kind of stuff, I liked it. I'm actually gonna give this one a good out of bad.
I hate that rating. I'm always gonna hate the rating. I'm gonna have to accept that. Also, Sarek's a terrible father. We got to emphasize that a bunch. And Spock's inner self-loathing, so that's always fun. Hooray. But yeah, I stick by 2 out of 5. So thanks again for joining us here on TAS-Blasting. Tune in next time for Season 1, Episode 3. One of our planets is missing. Whoopsies.
Truly inspiring. Can't wait. Be sure to like and subscribe if you're out there. We're doing the hard work here, watching these shitty episodes, and it would mean a lot to us if you did so.
See you next time.
What are you waving at? I can't look over there.
And you never will. I could move you, but I won't.